Karibu sana ndugu mtazamaji na msikilizaji, hapa ni Ribe TZ moja kwa moja kwenye monasteri ya Mtakatifu Paulo. Hapa ni moja ya majengo yaliyojengwa miaka mingi iliyopita, karibu mwaka 300. Unaweza kuangalia ni ambapo Mtakatifu basi hapo Po aliishi. Walau kuna watakatifu wengi hapa Misri, si huyo Po tunamjua. Kwa hiyo tunaelekezwa basi tunaelekea kwenye maeneo mbalimbali ya monasteri hii. Tutapata tafsiri mbalimbali kwa lugha ya Kiarabu na Kiingereza wakati mwingine.
Spring of water, which spring have you been here? Yeah.
Basi tutapata tafsiri mbalimbali.
هشرح الجزء بتاع حياة أنبابولة وبعد كده الجزء التاريخي وبعد كده ندخل على اوكي. الأنبابولة اتولد سنة 228 في أسرة مسيحية غنية في اسكندرية.
It says that St. Paul was born in the year 228 in a rich Christian family in Alexandria.
أخوه الكبير أخذ الجزء الكبير من الميراث بعد ما أبوه مات.
And then when his father died, his elder brother took the bigger share of the inheritance of the family.
الأنبابولة ما وافقش على الاسم دي، لكن اتفقوا مع بعض يروحوا للقاضي للحاكم بتاع المدينة يرسم لهم الميراث مظبوط.
Paul was not happy about this, how his brother took a lot of wealth, and both of them agreed to go to the judge of the city for him to solve their differences.
وهم رايحين شافوا جنازة بتاع واحد غني ومشهور في المدينة، المنظر ده أثر قوي في الأنبابولة.
As they were going to the judge, they met with the funeral procession of a very rich man in the city, and this made St. Paul start thinking about why he's fighting with his brother over wealth.
بدأ يفكر في حياته الأبدية وإنه مش هياخد حاجة معاه من الأرض، قلبه اتملأ بمحبة ربنا فقدر يسيب كل شيء له.
So he understood that when he will die, he will never take anything with him. So he started thinking about the eternal life and started looking for the wealth, or rather for the Lord. Then he started fasting, and he withdrew outside the city in order to seek the Lord and to ask the Lord's will.
ربنا لما شاف صدق قلبه 3 أيام بعد 3 أيام أرشده من اسكندرية عن طريق ملاك جابوا هنا البحر الأحمر.
So after about 3 days of prayer and fasting, the Lord sent to him an angel who guided him from Alexandria up to this place.
لما جه هنا في القرن الثالث المكان كله صحراء.
In the 3rd century, when he arrived here, there was nothing, it was a desert.
لقي عين المية اللي احنا هندخلها دلوقتي ولقي المغارة اللي هي بقت كنيسة فيما بعد ولقي شوية نخل.
So the question is then what about the water here? There was a well here, then a few, we will see also the question of the few palm trees that are around, and then the cave down there where he used to live.
عاش هنا أكثر من 90 سنة متواصل.
He lived in this place for more than 90 years continuously without leaving the place.
ما رجعش ومحدش جه في الوقت ده.
He never went back to Alexandria to his people, and nobody came to look for him.
في الوقت اللي قعدوا هنا كان بياكل من النخل وبيلبس من الليف بتاع النخل، وبعد فترة من وجوده ربنا بدأ يبعت له كل يوم نص رغيف مع الغراب في المساء.
So when he arrived here, as we said, there was a well, a few palm trees, and a cave. So he was drinking from the water, eating from the palm tree, what do you call the dates? And then he was staying in the cave, and for his own clothes, he was using the palm leaves to make himself clothes. Until later on, when the Lord started sending a crow to bring him a loaf of bread.
في سنة 343 في شهر فبراير ربنا أرسل للأنبا أنطونيوس للأنبا بولا.
In the year 343, the Lord sent Saint Anthony to come and visit Paul.
الأنبا أنطونيوس كان هناك في المغارة بتاعته وكان مع الرهبان تلاميذه، لكن كان في فكر شغله إن هو أول واحد يعيش مع ربنا في الجبل.
Because Anthony was living on the other side of the mountain that you saw here. He had already collected a few disciples around himself, and he thought that he was the first person to abandon worldly life to live a reclusive life.
لكن ربنا صحح له الأمر ده وقال له لا، في حد موجود جنبك هو أقدم منك، مش معروف من حد لكن بركة للعالم كله.
So the Lord told Anthony, no, you are not the first one. There is a person who started before you, only that he is not known, even though through his prayer the world has been blessed.
وربنا قاد الأنبا أنطونيوس اتقابل هنا مع الأنبا بولا، قعدوا طول اليوم بيتكلموا عن ربنا وعن تدبيره في الحياة وعن الحياة الرهبانية اللي الأنبا أنطونيوس بدأها.
And so Anthony came, guided by the Lord, and he met Paul, and they passed a whole day talking about serving the Lord, prayer life, and also about the monastic life that Anthony had started.
في الغروب لقوا الغراب جايب ليهم رغيف خبز كامل بدل نص رغيف.
We said before that the crow used to bring half a loaf of bread, but when it came to the evening, that day the crow brought a whole loaf of bread because they were two.
الأنبا بولا طلب من الأنبا أنطونيوس إنه يروح عنده المغارة يجيب التونيا أو اللبس المقدس اللي بنلبسه في الكنيسة اللي البابا أثناسيوس كان عاطيه هدية للأنبا أنطونيوس.
And
الأنبا بولا هنا طلب من الأنبا أنطونيوس يروح عنده المغارة هناك ويجيب اللبس المقدس اللي البابا أثناسيوس كان عاطيه هدية للأنبا أنطونيوس.
So towards the end of the day, Paul asks Anthony to go to his monastery and bring him the religious vestments that Saint Athanasius, Pope Athanasius, had given him, the religious vestments.
الأنبا أنطونيوس راح وجاب اللبس وهو راجع شاف رؤيا إن الملائكة واخدين روح الأنبا بولا وطالعين السماء.
As he went to collect his clothes to come, as he was coming back, he had a vision where he saw the angels carrying Saint Paul to heaven.
نزل بسرعة المغارة ليه الأنبا بولا ساجد فترة الصلاة وكان يسجد لكن كانت ميتة.
So he ran to the cave of Saint Paul. Then he found Paul crouched neck in the position of prayer, but when he touched him, he was already dead.
بكى عليه شوية وبعد كده غير له اللبس، خد اللبس الليف اللي كان لابسه ولبسه الثوب اللي جابه.
So he mourned for him for a short time, and then he took the religious vestments he had brought with him. He dressed Paul in those vestments.
لسه بيفكر هيدفنه ازاي، ما كانش معاه ادوات، فربنا بعت للأنبا أنطونيوس أسدين من أصحاب أنبا بولا ساعدوه يحفر المكان في المغارة ودفن جسده تحت.
So as he was there thinking, I have no instruments to dig. How am I going to bury this man? Two lions arrived at the door of the cave. They entered the cave, and with their crows, they started digging, and so they helped him. They dug where to bury Paul.
في الوقت اللي الأنبا بولا كان عايش فيه كان الجبل فيه أسود ونمور كتير، دول مش موجودين دلوقتي، اللي ما زال موجود تعابين وعقارب وثعالب، دول موجودين في المنطقة اللي احنا فيها، وجوه في الجبل فيه غزلان وأرانب برية.
So he says, in those times, the time of Paul, it was full of animals around here. There were leopards and lions and many other animals. But today, all that remains, they are just some kind of squirrels and some snakes, some wolves, smaller animals, but there are no more lions or leopards.
الأنبا أنطونيوس بعد كده خد الطوب الليف وراح للبابا أثناسيوس في اسكندرية شرحوا الحاجات اللي حصلت.
So Saint Anthony, of course, took the old vestments of Paul, and he took them to Athanasius, and then he explained to the Pope Athanasius in Alexandria, and he explained to him all that had happened to him.
فجابوا رهبان قعدوا هنا في المغارة بتاع المغولة ومغاير تاني حواليها. الكلام ده كده في القرن الرابع.
So after that, the Pope Athanasius chose some monks and sent them here to come and continue the way of life of St. Paul. So there was no connection between Paul and the monks who came, because they came when he was dead.
القول الوحيد اللي وصل لنا من حياة أنبا بولا إن الإنسان اللي بيهرب من الضيقة بيهرب من الله.
So what we can learn from St. Paul's life is that if we are running away from difficulties and suffering, we are running away from the Lord.
في القرن السادس اتعمل السور ده والحصن.
So the monks came in the 4th century, but this wall here and the closure of the monastery was built in the 6th century. So the height of the door is about 2 meters. The width is up to 2 meters, and the height is about 10 meters.
القرن ال 18 أضيف جزء للمغارة اللي نزل عليكم واترسمت الأيقونات اللي على الصخرة التحتية.
In the 10th century, they added the part of the wall near the cave, and also they put some paintings that we are going to see when we go down there.
القرن ال 17 حصل هجوم من البدو على الرهبان قتلوهم كلهم، الدير فضل فاضي فترة، في القرن ال 18 أعيدوا الحياة مرة ثانية.
In the 17th century, Bedouins, these are people who live in the desert, they attacked the monastery and killed all the monks. And for about a century, the monastery remained abandoned. And in the 18th century, the monks were able to come back.
أضيف جزء للمغارة والمدخل اللي احنا هننزل منه في القرن ال 18 واترسمت كل الأيقونات اللي باقية في الكنيسة.
So they added a part of the cave church, especially even the stairs we are going to use to enter into the church were added in the 18th century when the monks came back, and they repainted again new images inside the church that we are going to visit.
في القرن العشرين كل المباني اللي بره الدير اتنفت بتاخد حديث.
Okay. In the 20th century, they built the other modern part of the monastery. They were added now from the 20th century.
النهارده يوم عيد عشان انتوا موجودين في الدير.
And today, it's a big day of celebration in the monastery because you are all here from different countries. It's a part of the monastery.
Basi ndugu mtazamaji na msikilizaji wa Libe TZ, hapa tuko tunapewa historia ya monasteri hii ikitolewa na kuhani na ikitafsiriwa na kuhani pia.